Hi everyone, this is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a makeup get ready with me. I haven't done my makeup in such a long time, so just as a I guess disclaimer, I'm not going to talk about the products I'm using today. Some of the products I'm going to use are new. I will list them down below, but I still want to do a makeup haul on them. My desk is kind of cluttered and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to do my makeup and we're going to talk about kind of what I've learned, I guess, over the past couple of months. I haven't really done my makeup for a long time, probably a good month or so. I've been focusing more on my art and my bullet journal stuff, but we're going to do it today, and today is also going to be a date night look. It's not going to be like crazy dramatic, but uh, we're going to do something different. I'm kind of sick and tired of, like, I know I always go on and on about how I want my makeup to look not like radiant. I hate that radiant shiny finish. And I don't really hate the look of it so much as the feel of it. I don't like how I feel like my makeup could rub off at any second. So I'm going to do a makeup. I've been watching a lot of makeup tutorial videos lately, and there's makeup artists I've been watching, and I'm going to do a little bit of a different routine, I guess. And we're going to see how it goes. But there is like another makeup routine I want to talk about, mostly for the skin, like how it finishes the skin and it lasts longer. And I'm not going to do that today, but we're just going to try out this other type of technique I'm going to use. And basically, it's not really a new technique. I'm just going to really go lighter on the makeup and not use a sponge because my sponge isn't wet anyway, and I want to use some brushes. So let's get started. I'm going to focus on the eyes first. I know, big surprise, because I never do the eyes first. And I'm even, instead of using concealer, I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills little mini eye primer. And even the brushes, I don't really want to talk about the brushes either, because this is more about focusing on kind of the look of what I'm going for on my face and talking about new makeup techniques and like kind of where to apply and how much to apply, that kind of stuff. And as you guys know, I hate putting product on my hand, but that is kind of how you do it. I'm going to start using less product, and not because it costs less money, that's not the reason. They say less is more, and I like using a lot of product, and sometimes you can honestly get the same result from using more product. But the application is like, why? Like it's not necessarily necessary. I'm just gonna try doing it this way and see how it looks. And I'm not really a fan of eye primers because everyone says that they're more sticky than concealer, but if you use like a really good concealer like Tarte Shape Tape, I find that is really sticky. It doesn't dry out that quick. And this eye primer in particular, it's very drying and it dries out really quick, especially if it's a thin layer. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just this particular eye primer that I'm using. So it's important that you buff this into the eyelid. And then with the same brush, because this is a fluffy, rounder brush, it's a fairly large brush, I'm going to go straight in with my shadow. So I'm going to use Tati Beauty, and this is just going to be a base. I'm actually going to use a color that I got in a sample from Sephora. It's the first Natasha Denona eyeshadow I actually have. The shade is Pure Love, and it's just like one tiny little pan. So that's going to go on the lid, and I'm just going to start with a crease. So we're going to use the shade Soothe right here, and then we'll darken things up with Ritual, and I'm just going to put that right in my crease. And so when I kind of start talking about makeup techniques, I guess, yeah, like this is a get ready with me, but I really want to talk about makeup right now. When you apply eyeshadow, and this is kind of coming from watching different videos and different makeup artists, different people, little tips and tricks I've kind of heard along the way, is that instead of keeping your eye closed when you're applying your shadow, like, usually you'll look at your face with one eye and then have the other one closed. Sometimes it's better to keep it open. So this is so you know exactly where that shadow is going. And it's the same when you do makeup on other people. For instance, if you like lift part of your eye up with a thumb or something, basically you're changing the shape of the eye. And then you no longer know what it's going to look like when the eye falls back into normal place. So it's better to start just with the eye open and kind of look down into a mirror so you can see what's going on. Again, I always liked doing my makeup after my base was done, but then doing it this way prevents fallout. So, I mean, you can wipe it away with a makeup wipe. And you can also blow out your eyeshadow, which means basically blending to your heart's content as much as you want. And you don't have to worry about what shape it's going to be because you can always clean that up with a makeup wipe or a little bit of like coconut oil or whatever you want to use. And keep in mind also the other kind of trick is I used to be in a rush all the time, so I would apply my primers right before my makeup application. And primers should be treated like moisturizer. So if you do a face routine or a skin routine, do it, before you put on your primer and before you do your makeup, because then it gives it time to set into your skin and to do what it needs to do. So I think that looks really good. I'm really not going to go extravagant. I might go in with Memory, which is the black shade, after I apply the shimmer. So I'm going to go in with a wet brush because I hate using my finger. But I'm going to use a concealer brush and some Milani setting spray. Again, I'll have everything listed down below. I've wanted to get Natasha Denona shadows for a long time, but really expensive. I think it's like for an entire palette, they can range from like $80 to like $270. So crazy, right? That hardly picks up any color at all. Maybe it's the wrong brush. We're going to try a flatter, fluffier brush. Okay, so I'm putting on the shadow wet, and I'm just going to pretty much focus it on the lid, and then we'll highlight the inner corner, and it looks like a duochrome shade. It doesn't have as high of an impact as I like, but we'll add some sparkle after, and once I kind of brighten up the under eye, I think it's going to look better. Let's darken up the outer corner a bit. I'm going to use a larger pencil brush and just dip into Memory, which is that black shade. And this just gives the eye some dimension. And I think what we're going to do is right on top of that, I'm going to pop on some sparkle on the lid. We're going to do that before because I don't want it coming down onto my cheeks later. So I'm going to use Aura, but I'm going to use the glitter. I'm going to give my eyes a spray with some setting spray. Just 2 each. I'm going to let that dry, and then we're going to go ahead and do our makeup. So like I said, everything is already primed, and I'm going to go right in with my foundation. Again, I'll have everything linked down below. I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to use a different brush than I usually do too. It's going to be a smaller, kind of fluffier brush, and I don't know if this foundation is the right shade for me, so I'm just going to check it out here. I'll do a very light amount. This is honestly just to even out my skin tone, and I might actually mix it with a different color because this one's a little too orangey brown for me. And I don't put too much product on my forehead because I don't want it to settle into my fine lines. And the trick is to really get it to blend well. So just keep blending, and anywhere you need a little bit extra coverage, you can pick a little bit of product up. Again, I put it on my hand. So next we're going to go in with a little bit of concealer. But before concealer, because my under eyes are quite dark, I'm going to use my e.l.f. color correcting stick. This is Correct Dark Circles for light skin tones, and it's kind of an orangey peach shade. And I don't like this as much. It is the e.l.f. brand. It seems to color correct, so we're going to go with that. I'm going to use a fluffy brush again. So this is a bit smaller to fit into the little eye area. And I did put on quite a small amount. I should have probably put it right here because that's where my circles are. And I can take a little bit of that and put it on my dark spots as well. Okay, so now we're going to go in with concealer. And I am using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles in Light. This stuff has a really fine consistency. So I'm going to use a bit of a smaller brush. It's still going to be a fluffy brush, but it has a bit more of a tapered end. Morphe E22. Again, I'm not really focusing on the brushes right now. I'm going to take a little bit of the product because it's my own. I don't use this on anybody else. I'm just going to put a little bit here, a little bit there, and we're going to blend it out. I usually like to look up when I'm applying it or blending the concealer itself. And I will use my ring fingers just to warm up the product and make it blend in a little bit better here. Okay, so now I want to go in with eyebrows. And for eyebrows today, I'm just going to use the Sample Benefit brow pencil I have, but I do need to brush them out. So I'm not going to be using my brow pomade, which I usually do, but I will probably use my Anastasia Beverly Hills, the pomade gel, I guess, not the dip brow. So this is a Benefit sample pencil. It's really, really, really skinny. And I'm just going to define my brows and fill in the sparse areas. And then I'm going to set everything with powder. Usually I do the powder first. I have no idea why I decided to do my brow first. I haven't done my makeup forever, so I'm completely off kilter right now. So every now and then I just take my brow pencil and or my little spoolie, and I brush through my brows to disperse the product and blend it in. And then if there's any more spots I need to fill in again, I just go back in with the brow pencil. And then we also will add the little brow gel on top. I usually like a tinted brow gel that isn't too dark. Something that matches the natural color of my own brows, which are a cool tone brown. And I always brush the hairs up and out just to give it the most natural look that I can, because they will fall down after. Personally, I'm not a fan of the ombre brow. I like mine more natural looking. I just like to darken them up a bit. I tried the ombre thing, and it's not because I can't do it, it's because it just doesn't look natural to me, and I don't want to do it on myself. Let's go in with a powder. We're going to gently set the makeup, and then we can do either finish up the eyes or do the rest of the face makeup. So if you need to, just go back in with your ring finger and pat the under eye so it's not creasing on you. And I'm going to very lightly powder. I hate that sticky feeling, so I'm just going to make sure I use enough powder that my face doesn't feel sticky, because I feel like the makeup can just come off if you touch your face, and I really don't like that feeling. So you'll notice I'm using quite a bit of a smaller brush here, not my huge powder brush I usually use. And that is the key too. If you use less product on your face, you're not going to find that you get any creasing. Like right now, there's no creasing under my eye. I'm not creasing on my forehead lines. So maybe we will go in now with the large fluffy brush, just blend everything together. I'm going to finish up the eyes first, and then we'll do the finish of the face. So before I actually go in with the shadow on the lower lash line, I'm just going to use that same shadow. I'm going to darken up the waterline. So I'm using a brown. I think I'll use my Avon True Color Glimmerstick eyeliner in brown chocolate. It gives it a little bit warmer appearance rather than just black. So I put mine on the upper and the lower, but I notice a lot of people just put it on the lower. But this makes your eyelashes fill in, makes them appear thicker on the top and the bottom. And I always push it into the lashes as well so that it can blend down below and it's darker. Even if it looks messy right now, I'm going to blend it in with the shadow and it'll look good. It looks like a big old mess, but we will clean it up, I promise. So I'm going to use that really good brush I was using there at the end, and I put a little bit more shadow on to make it more bright. We're going to use the same brush, go into the shadow. I'm probably going to wet my brush again and dip it into that shadow and push it on the lower lash line. And we're going to blow it out quite a bit. So what I'm going to have to do is wait for this to dry and then take a soft fluffy brush and then just go back in and buff it out. And we can add more after too. I'm just bringing the color up a bit higher because I realized that my eyes really hide the color. Okay, so now for face. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. I haven't contoured in a long time. I'm going to go in with my Tartiest Pro Glow palette. I'm not going to use the cream at all. I'm just going to use the Sculpt shade. And I am using my kind of angled contour brush, and then we're going to go in with a powder brush and just blend everything out. And now we can blend out the eyes. So I'm going to go in with a fairly large brush, I guess. I'm going to use an E25. I'm going to go back into that shadow, dip it into the product a little bit, and just really blow it out. I'm going to blush as well. I'm going to use my Too Faced Natural Face palette. Maybe I might just use Pink Sand because it's kind of like a nice mix, a nice mauve shade. And it also gives it a little bit of sheen. And then we're going to highlight as well. So I'm going to use a palette I haven't used in a long time actually. This is my Tarte Skin Twinkle Volume 2. I'm going to wet a brush. I will be using a pencil brush to get into the eyes. I'm going to wet it. And we're going right into Skylight for the eyes here. For the cheekbones, I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to use a Spotlight, which is a bit of a darker shade. Then we're going to quickly do lips. So I'm going to line them with a nude lip pencil, I think. I'm going to use my Milani Color Statement Lip Liner 04, which is natural. And I'm going to fill them in with a Buxom lip gloss because I don't want to do lipstick right now. So I'll be using the shade Samantha. And then we're going to put some mascara on. So I will be using my L'Oreal Bambi eye, and I'm going to put eyelashes on, and we'll be right back, and then the look will be okay. You guys, that is the completed look. I decided not to do lashes today, and I guess I have to apologize to you because I'm not really my regular self when I'm doing makeup. I didn't really want to do my makeup today, to be honest, and I'm just feeling very lethargic, and I could honestly go to sleep right now, but it's date night, we're gonna go out, so that's why I'm just like a little more laid back, a little bit more quiet. Still, everything's still good though, but that is the complete look. I will leave everything down below for you guys, and I will also have a haul coming right after this video, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.